The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Game Sports Show. Yours truly, David McCaig. I'm here with Jamie Antonello. I'm going to bring Jamie in just a few moments here. Just got a few things to state on the good old opener, as we always do here. We're live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill for our Wednesday edition of the Game Sports Show. We're here for the 75-cent wing nights. Wing night from 4 p.m. until 12 a.m. It's eat-in only here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar. And as I said, Dave McCaig here. We're just going to have myself and Jamie tonight. And I want to give a shout out to additional sponsors as well, and additional people that are, well, here but not here in spirit, in personality, in editing, in directing. Scott Nason, our board operator tonight. And someone who is here but not at the table, Alicia White, the beautiful Alicia White.
Easy.
The very beautiful Alicia White is our waitress, as always, here for SportsCenter. Well, not always, because we do have Tiana Belair and sometimes Krista as well, but pretty often. So Alicia, I got to give her a shout out as well for treating Jamie and myself like royalty, and people that are in the crowd here at SportsCenter Bar and Grill. Quite the live crowd here at SportsCenter, as it always is on Wednesdays and obviously on their Mondays as well for the 75-cent wing nights. They did have their football special on Sundays, but unfortunately, football season's over, which means our In the Pocket segment's over. And
I'm in serious withdrawals.
Big withdrawals with that. Now, I'm going to get to the agenda of the show just in a few moments here. I'm going to jump into our additional sponsors. We have Boston Pizza, where we have one of the additional homes to the Game Sports Show, where we record the show Thursdays at 9:30 at Boston Pizza. So, if you do the math, today's Wednesdays, tomorrow's Thursday. We're going to be there tomorrow at Boston Pizza. It'll be myself, Dane, and Justin at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, where we're going to be talking about hockey. We're going to be talking about baseball and Olympic sports as well, majority being hockey with the trade deadline just around the corner. And then on Mondays, we're obviously at the Wicked Sister in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. So Wicked Sister being one of our other sponsors, along with Pingator Cleaners in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. We are not going to have a Monday show for the next 2 Mondays, and we're going to have quite the schedule change for the next 2 weeks here on the Game Sports Show, and I'm going to get to that at the conclusion of this show. But with our additional sponsors here at Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, we have the Superior Pro Shop, The Salon, Discover the Canvas, and North Shore Sports and Auto being a part of the show for the Game Sports Show. And the usual agenda for the show, as it said in our commercial, and as we say on every show, we have a show Monday 6 to 7 across the river at Wicked Sister in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Then that's live from 6 to 7 on Eagle 95.1, with 7 to 8 being pre-recorded, then put online later. And then on Wednesdays, we're here at SportsCenter Bar and Grill, like we are here tonight, from 9:30 until about 10:30, depending on what criteria we have for the show. Then on Thursdays, we're obviously at Boston Pizza at 9:30 to 11, with Wednesdays talking about the In the Pocket segment that's currently in the off-season right now. But we also have basketball. We have our newly implemented roundtable discussion. We have WWE. We have golf. We have the variety sports that we'd like to call it on Wednesdays, with Thursdays, as I mentioned, being about hockey and baseball, with this week including the Olympics as well. So that's the sponsors, and you can hear all that when it's not live on radio. When it's on 95.1, you can go to thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Simply just listen to the older episodes, and you can follow us. All you have to do is hit follow and type in your email. That's it. You don't get any junk mail. You don't get anything of that. Just when we have a show upload, it gets a notification on your email when we have a show, or when it's on the Podbean when you subscribe, because you're going to download the Podbean app. You can get a notification when the Game Sports Show is uploaded. And don't forget, this is the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show, so you definitely do not want to miss out on the up-to-date news from the best sports show in Sault Ste. Marie and in the Twin Saults in general, and in Northern Ontario and the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. It's a lot of areas, don't you think? And I'm going to ask that question to Jamie.
Soon to be the world.
Soon to be the world.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we're going worldwide. As Will Ferrell and John O'Reilly, we're going prestige worldwide. in with the Game Sports Show. But all jokes aside, you can listen to that on the Podbean page. That's the GameSportsShow.podbean.com, and our website that is launched. The only thing that's under construction right now is the bios, and everyone's bios except a few bios are not in. And we're going to have our modeling pictures done in the next couple weeks as well. That's going to get added to the site. So there's a couple more things we're adding, but the website is launched. It's www.thegamesportshow.com. And you know what? With this show, Jamie, bringing you on in now, we like to have we have a very structured show here with the In the Pocket segment and with basketball. And then now we have the implemented roundtable discussion. We're going to bring in everything, including WWE, golf, too, randomly throughout the show when seems fit and when we have the time to discuss everything, because this is going to be a variety show along with our famous In the Pocket segment. Now, In the Pocket is in the off season, but there's still football news we're going to be talking about throughout the year. We're going to have the off-season edition with the Combine that we're actually going to include in our roundtable discussion. Little spoiler alert. We're going to have free agency go on. And then, before you know it, kickoff's going to be for the preseason. And then, with this show now, we're going to have the off-season stuff. We're going to have basketball that we're really going to dive into a lot because the Raptors are being fantastic right now. And our roundtable discussion, I'm very excited to bring this in on the Wednesday show, especially with our group, because we have a variety of a group as well with many different opinions when it comes to Wednesdays. So, if you're ready, sir, want to get our show underway. It is just you and I tonight, though.
Yeah, I'm good to go, man.
It's good. Justin is not available, nor is Dane or Dustin. He's still on patent leave, still on pat leave. It's just you and I, but we have quite the agenda here tonight. And with that agenda, jumping right into that, we're going to have a little golf, little spiel for just about a minute or so to open the show. Then we're going to talk about basketball with the All-Star Weekend, and in particular those Toronto Raptors. Then we're going to take our break, and we're going to have our roundtable discussion. And with that roundtable discussion, we have a lot of topics. We're going to bring up one of them being the Combine, and I'm not going to talk about the other discussions because I want to keep those as a surprise, as these discussions I'm pretty excited to bring forward today. The roundtable discussion was implemented to be for a table when we have more than four to five, but it's just as good when we have two, especially the topics that we have today. So diving into today, just to jump right into the show, like I said, we're going to jump into golf. And the reason why I want to jump into golf is my boy, my favorite golfer, who I like to compare my swing to, which is not good. Sorry, Bubba. Bubba Watson, getting back in the good old win column, getting back on the map, winning the Genesis tournament. What a legend. What a legend. We know that he's not that good at basketball, that we're going to get to in just a few moments here. But good. How good is it for golf that Bubba Watson gets this win? Right now he's ranked 40th in the PGA Tour in the world ranking, 7.2 in the purse, as they call it. He's doing all right. His full name, Jerry Lester Watson Jr. They call him Jerry Watson. But hey, I still call him Bubba. He is still Bubba Watson. He's still a great golfer. How good is it to have him on the map getting the W?
Well, and I'd agree, right? Like, Bubba's got a pretty big fan base. He's a funny dude. He's all over the internet. Yeah. He does like celebrity all-star game for the NBA. So it's making yourself more marketable. So it's always great when you see guys like, the internet didn't explode. When Tiger wins again, everybody's going to lose their mind, right? But Bubba played great, steady golf, in between playing in the Celebrity All-Star Game, I'll add, which is wild. Hit the ball well. The lefty, man, just love it. Also, like, can we talk about $7.2 million? Like, I wish it wasn't hard to go pro. Like, holy cow. Like, if I can get myself to, like, a 2 handicap, sign me up. Let's go.
Absolutely. I can tell you that if you saw my golf game, I wouldn't be coming close to the PGA Tour, I don't think. That'd be the public embarrassment. But $7.2 million, that's a lot of money. I don't make that. I will not make that in a lifetime with my current occupation.
You know what the best part about that is the Happy Gilmore rule. What do you get for last? It's probably still like $500,000.
$500,000 to get plus 25 in your
cut. Like, wild.
You're in the notables. If you're Canadian on Sportsnet or TSN, you're in the notables. You're in the notables like, hey, David McCaig, Jamie Antonello, plus 25, finishing 685th here on the PGA Tour, a.k.a. Happy Gilmore out there.
Hey, you still get paid. Still pro golfer.
That's right. And speaking of this pro golfer, Bubba Watson won the Masters in 2012 and 2014. I don't think he is going to be another Masters winner, but you never know, getting back on the map. Good to see Bubba Watson getting back on the map, and he has no problem getting sponsors either because of how popular that he is. So with him having that, I can see that profit increasing as the tournaments go on, as Bubba Watson finished first in the Genesis tournament. Now we're going to stick sort of with Bubba Watson because we're jumping into our basketball talk now. Well, you have a little comment? Okay, another additional comment for Bubba.
Not so much for Bubba, just for the Genesis Open in general. The PGA is really trying to get more people to watch, obviously. And I love golf. It's a hard sport to watch. It's tough. Like, Jim Nantz, unreal commentator, but it's so hard to watch sometimes. So they had Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, and Dustin Johnson paired together. Dream team. Like, I know I specifically watched a little bit of the first round just because of that. I wanted to see that pairing. I wanted to hear them hype it up. Of course, Tiger kind of stunk up the links a little bit. He didn't make cut. And Dustin and Rory both finished like on the outskirts of the top 20. But still, I mean, at least golf's trying, and Tiger's back, so Bubba's back. Like, guys are flying. Dustin Johnson's hitting the crap out of the ball. Rory was, if he can get his putting straight, golf's doing well right now. So I really hope that this year really starts rolling once we get into Masters season, that these guys are all torqued up and ready to go at Augusta.
See, the big tournaments, definitely the Masters, and that's one that everyone definitely tunes into. It's the Super Bowl of golf. It's the Stanley Cup of golf. It's the World Series of golf. It's the Premier League Championship in golf. It's the MLS. I'm just trying to refer all these different sports to that. But, good point, Jamie, on bringing that up into our golf discussion. Our first official golf discussion on the Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario side for the Game Sports Show, may I add. But good to bring in and talk about the good old Bubba Watson. But like I said, before we brought up that point, we're going to stick to Bubba Watson with this current point of sorts. We're jumping into basketball right now before we go to break. And we have a lot of basketball to talk about before that break. So Bubba Watson played in the Celebrity All-Star Game.
It wasn't good.
He struggled. He struggled. Wasn't his golf game at the Genesis Open at all. Tracy McGrady, you were telling me, absolutely rejected him. I'm going to let you give the boom shakalaka. Was that the right term we should go with? Is that when you or is that when you drain a three in that game? I can't remember at the top of my head, but with that game in general, it was still entertaining to watch.
Yeah, the Celebrity All-Star Game is always hilarious because you really realize that even guys like James Harden, who you look at as like a small guy in the league, he's still like 6'5". And then you got Bubba out there who's 6'1", not a small dude, but Tracy McGrady just absolutely annihilating the ball. Bubba with the saddest jump shot attempt I've ever seen. I mean, I'll give Bubba this. Like, he knows how to play basketball. He knew where to go. Not that they were running an offense in the Celebrity All-Star Game when you got Justin Bieber over there with his headband and his hair flowing. Yeah. I will say, though, some guys that I kind of knew could ball were flying out there. Quavo was MVP, dropped 19 points. Andre DeGrasse was just being a sprinter and a crazy athlete. Just like the fast break was unreal. It's like his 9,800 speed down the court. Let's go. But yeah, it was a pretty good game. Bubba got about 4 minutes because he got blocked, and then Common, as in actor and rapper Common, who was one of his All-Star coaches, pulled him, and Paul Pierce, who was the ex-player opposite to Tracy McGrady on that side. They both made a decision to pull Bubba out, and he didn't go back in the game. But regardless, their team still won. But what a weekend. Continuing with the All-Star talk, moving into the main All-Star game, they were playing defense. I'd never seen anything before in my life. 148 to 145, Team LeBron over Team Steph. What a game. At one point, they broke out a trap D, and nobody knew what to do because everybody was expecting just no full court press. It's just jacking threes. We're going for stupid dunks. Nobody wants to end up on a poster in the All-Star game. But unfortunately, what we were all kind of hoping for was massive drama because you got Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, who have kind of like settled their beef. They were buddies again. It's pretty clear that they're over it. They've realized time heals all wounds kind of thing. And then Kyrie Irving and LeBron, you didn't know how that was going to work. But LeBron drafted Kyrie with the second-round pick. On purpose.
Guaranteed on purpose.
And they were chumming it up. At least they put it on for the camera, and it was kind of the NBA all-access cameras too, so they see everything. But, yeah, I mean, you didn't get a lot of that, but what a game. Like, I was very impressed. It was fun to watch. The whole weekend was good. Dunk contest is pretty much what everybody used to tune into, but the game was actually good this year, which was nice. And Jimmy Butler, funny enough, who opted to not play in the All-Star game, because he said, I'm tired, I need a break, and sarcastically in an interview said that he doesn't want to play if it's not competitive basketball. And then LeBron and Steph were just like, let's actually play a game here. And it was super entertaining. They were actually playing D, like I said. Guys were going up. Obviously, you have crazy alley-oops and layups and dunks just because you have the best, 30 guys in the league just going off. But, yeah, what a weekend.
Definitely a big weekend for the NBA, and that All-Star game definitely took a curve, like you said, Jamie, and just to, right from the Celebrity All-Star game, like you said, it was all the fun with Team 2 Chainz and Team Snoop Dogg. You had some fun, having fun out there. And then, like you said, jumping right into the All-Star game in general, the talent was on the court and present. Everybody was going hard. Defense was being played, even though there was 148 to 145 score. The teams were going hard, and these are the best players that are in the NBA right now. And obviously, you have Team Steph Curry that was actually the favorites going in because Team LeBron had all those injuries, had all those. Boogie went down, a lot of guys went down, and everyone's like, oh, is Team LeBron cursed? Is Team LeBron cursed? They didn't look cursed out there, and LeBron would look like he was having fun, that he had, like you said, Team LeBron was, all of them were injured, and all of them have the beef history, like you said, with LeBron and Kyrie. Look at the history that they've had, obviously. Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, look at that kind of issues that they've had before, right? Aldridge, being at the game as well was somebody who actually didn't really play. Played 4 minutes of time, which I'm very surprised. And then you have Andre Drummond, who actually came in there for Porzingis, I believe, or he came there for an injury, and look how he did. Same with Bradley Beal. He did well as well. And Anthony Davis was last year's MVP. Had a pretty good game as well playing with LeBron, but the good old Unibrow Davis. But I am a big fan of Giannis Antetokounmpo. That is, the Greek freak is fantastic. DeRozan and Lowry representing the Raptors out there did fantastic, but Giannis is an absolute freak of nature. I feel like he is just absolutely built out there just to be a top-notch NBA talent, and he is a top-notch NBA talent. And it was fun to watch in general this whole weekend. You had talent after talent, block after block, people actually running down the court. If I'm an NBA owner, I'm sitting there sweating my bag off because if someone's pulling on the groin, if someone's rolling an ankle, or something happens, I am literally tomahawking that player in the noggin because they're going balls out in an all-star game. But you know what? Kudos to that because the fans wanted to see that. And you had, like you said, Jimmy Butler saying, oh, this isn't going to be fun. This is not going to be a competitive game. I'm going to stay home and rest. Well, if he is tired, good thing he stayed home because he would have had to run in this game, and he would have been not tired. But for him to say it wasn't competitive, he's eating those words. He's eating that omelet right now.
Giannis would have put him on a poster like he's been doing to everybody this year.
Literally a poster. Literally looking like a deer in headlights. Oh, there you go. A little pun intended a little bit, making it look like a deer. Let's just go with that little pun intended there, as the listeners like hearing my little fancy puns.
Milwaukee fans are loving that one.
Oh, that's definitely one they haven't heard before, I imagine. But you know what? This is definitely a game that can build into next year. And I like this format with drafting. I love it. I'm for it. Yeah. Obviously, I go Team LeBron, Team Curry. But you know what? I'd rather go off the map next year. You know what? Have these three, or have your best guys out there, but then have two other guys that are fan extras that are voted in. Maybe have, Lonzo Ball choose a team and Joel Embiid choose a team. I don't know. Trying to get two other players choose a team is my example in general. Somebody else choose a team opposed to the two best players in the NBA. Maybe go somewhere else with that.
The way the Pro Bowl worked for the NFL a couple years ago is they had Hall of Fame guys do it. Like, how wild would it be to see Magic and Bird draft each teams against each other?
MJ and Redman. Wow. I mean, and Rodman.
Like, that'd be, or you get MJ and Pippen against Kobe. Like, that'd be hilarious, I think. And so that's another option. Like, it made the game way more fun, right? I mean, it would kind of suck to be the last guy picked in the All-Star game. Let's be real. That's the Phil Kessel treatment right there. Yeah. But, I mean, still, it's like, because you go East and West, just because the West is insane. Like, the East is really just, it's LeBron and the Raptors right now. Kyrie. You got Kyrie. Like, there's 4 guys on the East. Like, you can't even make a dominant starting lineup.
That's probably why this was factored in. I guarantee you this is why. That won't be said, but that's why this format was factored in.
Absolutely. And like the West is just, it's tougher. It's a tougher road. Like, if you look at the playoffs in the West right now, 3 through 10 is 3.5 games apart. That's absurd. Like, the Spurs, who are in third, might not finish in the playoffs because Kawhi, who the heck knows if he's ever going to play again, but they might not make the playoffs, which would be insane. But if they probably will, just because they have Popovich, who's unreal. But holy cow, like, we got to get a little bit more talent in the East. We got to get this conferences spread out a little bit, and like, maybe, I don't know, Blake Griffin playing for the Pistons is going to help, stuff like that. I don't know, but it's bottom line, this format was way better. Keep it that way, at least until the conferences balance themselves out.
Then you can consider something else at the end of the day, but like you said, what happens if LeBron doesn't stay in the East this year? If he goes to free agent, he goes to the West, then he just got back to square one. The way they have this format right now, I think now the way they did it, you had LeBron draft Kyrie, and then you had Durant get drafted along with Westbrook, right, playing with each other. I think you can't do this next year. I think maybe next year, you can't go have LeBron draft Kyrie, Westbrook, and Durant again. It's going to be cool, the drama's being relived. Or, you know what, unless Klay Thompson says bye-bye to Golden State or Draymond Green goes somewhere else, then you have a little controversy there. But I think next year, they should use the same format, but have a Hall of Famers select the teams and let them choose the team accordingly as such, because then it won't be as criticized for those little fine details in the NBA for sure. But kudos to the All-Star game. I actually enjoyed it this year better than most years. And having Mitchell win the dunk contest, give a little shout out to that, wearing the Vince Carter jersey. That's my boy out there. It's VC15, who we actually won't see in the Raptors jersey, unfortunately, in the bio, which I'm going to get to in 3 seconds here after this final comment. Thumbs up to the All-Star game. Moving on, before we jump to break, we're going to talk about the Raptors. We're going to take a couple minutes to talk about the Toronto Raptors here, who actually announced that they will not be getting Vince Carter on the time of a buyout by the Kings. Unfortunately, very sad to hear for Raptors fans, because I wanted to see Vince Sanity back in good old Air Canada Center to make a run for the championship this year, which is very much realistic for the team that's first in the Eastern Conference right now. And there's a lot of teams like right now that are on the buyout lookout for the Raptors. There's individuals that people might be looking out for, and you have a pretty decent bench with the Raptors right now, with Fred VanVleet doing well, CJ Miles, Dylan Wright, Powell, obviously, who kind of jumps in and out of that. But you got Aaron Aflalo, who's the guy that they've been really looking at apparently for a buyout. You have Corey Brewer, Gerald Henderson, you got Boris Daw. You got kind of individuals out there that you can really look at to come into the Raptors on a buyout, but definitely seems like Aflalo is the guy that they're going to be going after their target, since now the Vince Carter rumors are out. And it would make sense for the Raptors to make another addition to the team just to add to that already top bench in the Eastern Conference. But the Raptors right now being first in the East, they got to keep this up. They have the team to do it. They have the team to do it in general. I think this is the team that is going to be going to the finals. I'm saying it right now. This is the team that is going to the finals. And they are the team that can beat the Celtics and Cavs. The Celtics being 2 games behind, the Cavs being 6.5 games back. And the East is very wide open, yes, in terms of those middle teams to the bottom. But the Raptors can run away with the East with a couple good 3 weeks here. and keep this roll going. 9-1 in their past 10. They won 7 in a row. Can't doubt this Raptors team.
No, they're on fire right now, and you really just hope that they can keep it going after the All-Star break. I would love to see the Raps in the finals. I don't think they do it if they don't hold on to the 1 seed, to be honest, because they're going to need to let the Celtics and the Cavs beat each other up in the conference semis, and then they're going to need that home field, that home court. That's big for them. And you can kind of say that the Cavaliers kind of let the Raptors hang around the last couple times they met in the playoffs. It's tough. The Raps played their butts off in those series. They just ran into Kyrie and LeBron and Kevin Love playing unreal, right?
No, Kyrie's not there.
No, it's the new look Cavs. They're younger. They're faster. They're playing well. And part of that is because LeBron is now the only superstar, really. So he gets featured a lot more. It's kind of the Russell Westbrook effect from last year in Oklahoma City, right? So if the Raps can hold on to that 1 seed, obviously and there's going to be some guys creeping up. If the Pistons or the Heat, it'll be one of those two teams. Even the 76ers, if they drop, right? You never know. Joel Embiid can go off. You never know, but they are going to have a significantly easier path because then they'll go up against the Wizards or the Pacers. Although the Pacers have given them trouble in the playoffs in the past, but this Raps team, if they can hang on to the 1 seed, they got a real, real good shot of going to the finals. And unfortunately, you're going to play Golden State at that point. And
Houston. Why not Houston? I like Houston's team. I like what Houston has. And I like what Houston brings to the table. A lot of people are saying where it's Houston, and that's putting those top 2 teams right now. But you got the Spurs you can't underestimate, or the Timberwolves, or the Thunder. Look at the way the Thunder are built this year. But I am gonna go off the map. Houston-Toronto final. Screw it. I'm gonna. If I had money right now in front of me, I would make that bet. I am just going to go ahead and do it. And here's my stupidity thought process that I've been used and quoted by Dustin. Stupidity thought process that I'm going to maybe patent that for my own terms and when it comes to basketball and football making bold predictions. We all know my bold prediction this year was an all-Pennsylvania Super Bowl. I wasn't too far off.
You were close.
I was fairly close. The Stanley Cup, I didn't say Toronto was winning this year. I said they had a chance to get there. I'm not cursing anything. So I've been realistic on the prediction. So hold this through when I say this. The Raptors, I agree with you 100%. They have to finish first because you can't meet the Celtics or Cavs in the second round. You can't. I think having the Celtics and Cavs literally go to 7 games and literally beat the shit out of each other, yes, absolutely. I think that is where you got to go with this. And that wouldn't be an easier road to the finals. It'd still be a competitive way to get to the finals, especially the second round, but they can keep their players rested, risk injury. It's a little bit better. And I like the Raptors on home court advantage, especially they're the best team in the NBA at home. They are the best team in the NBA at home right now. So you got them at 24-4. You know the team is behind them? The Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets are first in the West. Golden State right behind them, literally sniffing their tails.
Rockets got a game in hand right now.
And the Rockets do got a game in hand. But I think Houston has a team that has not the studded power that Golden State has, but they have the right. They do. They have Harden and Paul. They have guys, but I think Golden State has the edge in talent because they have 5 guys that can play on their bench. But here's the thing that people aren't forgetting. They're forgetting. The Houston Rockets bench is better than Golden State's bench. Believe it or not. And that's going to be big in the playoffs. Look at the Raptors team. Their bench is the best in the NBA next to Houston's. So I think those are going to be the kind of things where LeBron can't play the full game. Or maybe he can. I don't know. We've seen him play 3 quarters plus. But I'm saying it. The Raptors in the finals against Houston. This is the year Toronto's making it. This is the year it's not Golden State Cavaliers times 4. It's time for a change. This is the year. Canada basketball is getting put on the map. And we got a little segment coming up shortly, a little topic, that's going to talk about putting Canada basketball on the map because teams and countries have to take note of Canada because we're for real. Is that a good rant?
Yeah, I liked it, man. I'll give you a B+. Good job. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with anything you said. It's going to be a run here coming down the stretch, man. I'm pretty excited about it.
It's going to be quite the time for sure. Make sure you tune into NBA basketball. The Raptors coming back from their All-Star break. They're back against Giannis Antetokounmpo. Love that name. I wish that was my name for 35 seconds so I can get autographs and pictures. And maybe talk to supermodels. that might actually respond to me via Messenger. No? Yeah.
Slide in the DMs. He's 23 years old, by the way. Absurd.
And he's a mammoth. I don't have exact measurements in front of me right now, but I think 6'8", 6'9", something like that. But anyways, Bucks, Raptors, ACC, Friday the 23rd. If you're in Toronto, get out there. If you're anywhere in Canada, get your asses out to watch the Raptors. It's just like watching the Hounds. It's like watching the Leafs. All these good sports teams enjoy the Raptors right now.
Even when the Raptors are bad, which they haven't been for years.
No, they've been in this upper threshold of the East the last few years, and people are forgetting that.
But bottom line, like, going to a Raptors game, unreal atmosphere. Unreal.
It's so entertaining throughout. Even in between whistles, you got the cheerleaders on the court. Got them out there. You got the shirt tosses. I even want to get down there and try to show my arm out there. Wouldn't be good. Wouldn't be good. I think I'd still beat Mitch Dionysi in a quarterback toss, though.
That's not hard to do, man.
Jamie, so you and I are going to take a quick break. That's going to conclude our basketball kind of segment. We're talking about the All-Star game, a little bit of the NBA, but the Raptors more in general. Jamie and I are going to sip on these Molson products, and we're here live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. We're going to have Alicia bring us a nice Team za as well, and a little bit of wings for a 75-cent wing night here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar. When we come back, we have a roundtable topic, and we got a bunch of topics to shoot at you, where Jamie and I are going to go off and maybe argue or maybe agree. Who knows? We'll be right back here after these messages. The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar. The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsioux.as.me-. The Salon, making the Sioux beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful, new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Hi, this is Joe Bowen, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show from Sault Ste. Marie.
And welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, David McCaig, alongside Jamie Antonello, one of my usual contributors here on the Wednesday edition of the Game Sports Show, where we're here every Wednesday for their famous 75-cent wing nights here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar, rated for the second straight year. And at the conclusion of this show, we're going to have a little bit of a schedule change just for the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to update you with that as well at the end of the show. You can also get a hold of me on Facebook or through our Podbean page in terms of getting the agenda for the show for the next 2 weeks, as our Monday show has been canceled for 2 weeks due to scheduling purposes for basketball over and for 95.1. But we're not really going to change much when it comes to the Boston Pizza Show, but this show for the next couple weeks is going to be kind of altered, so we're going to get to those schedule adjustments later on in the show. Jamie, you and I, before we went to break, we talked golf. We talked basketball in terms of celebrity basketball and the Raptors and how sizzling hot and roaring hot and Jurassic hot they are. Speaking of Jurassic World, The Fallen Kingdom Part 2 comes out this year. Speaking of Jurassic, but sticking to the topic of sports, you and I here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill enjoying some Molson products, some food called pizza. In Italian, it's called pizza. as you can see, there's a complete difference in language barriers there. Pizza and pizza.
It's all about how you say it.
It's a pizza. A little bit prosciutto on there. Say bene. My nana would be so proud. So proud. But you also have the chicken wings. And as our friends like to say, they're chicken wings. A lot of emphasis on the age. 75-cent wing nights here for Monday and Wednesdays, 4 to 12 at Sportscenter. You and I are going to have the roundtable discussion right now, though. And we have topics that we kind of just spittered at each other. And the whole point of this roundtable discussion is throughout the week, or 5 to 7 days, or 5 to 10 days that we're apart from each other, we try to think of topics that we write down. Yours truly thought of maybe a zillion topics in terms of being at work, having beers in a social gathering elsewhere, watching TV. I thought of so many topics. I didn't write them down, so that's a mistake going into next week, but we did remember a good amount of them. And you and I, the point of this roundtable discussion is somebody is going to bring 1 to 2 topics a week, depending on how many people we have on the show. And we're going to bring that topic to the roundtable. It's going to be about sports, but it could be a random topic that's extremely personal, that's knowledgeable on your behalf or mine. It might be something I know nothing about that we're going to have to do research on or look onto on while we're talking about it, or just completely try to sound it off. And we're going to have good topics in the world of sports that are popular in the world of sports, and we're going to talk about that topic that is brought to the table. Now, you and I, Jamie, went down and thought about a few topics that we feel would be of interest for our roundtable this week, just to keep us two at bay without us two breaking glass over each other's heads, and also keeping it rated. A decent The Game Sports Show rating that we have here. So I'm not going to go into all the topics that we have because we're going to start and go down. We know one of the topics that we're going to talk about is going to be the Combine, and how much does the Combine affect draft status for the NFL? Bringing in a little bit of the In the Pocket segment here, but we're going to save that for the end of this roundtable, though. That's going to be the last topic. That's what happens. We're not going to save the best for last in this circumstance, because all of them are top-notch, these topics that we've discussed. But since we spoiled this, I don't want to start with that topic. I want to conclude with that topic, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Give them something to look forward to.
I like that. I want to start with one of the topics that we brought up, and it connects to our previous segment, which I feel ties in great. The Raptors. This is a Canada thing in majority in general, though. But the Raptors in basketball are getting no respect from the NBA analysts, NBA media in the United States, period. And I'm sorry, I know we have a lot of United States listeners. I'm not chirping the United States. There's no negative energy going towards the United States. It's just coming out where Canada sports in general, mostly towards the Raptors right now, but it goes towards the Raptors and Blue Jays because the Leafs get a whole bunch of publicity, especially on NBC because of how the Maple Leafs are the center of the hockey universe. So the NHL, whenever you talk NHL, you're talking Leafs or you're talking Habs. Or you're talking original 6 franchise, especially when it comes to the United States. But basketball is getting no respect in the world at all. The Blue Jays didn't when they were killing teams a couple years back. This year, who knows what's going to happen? It might be either a good year where they make it in a wild card spot, or they don't make it at all. I'm going to go with the latter on that one. But the Raptors is the whole point of this topic, getting zero respect, Jamie. Zero respect. They are the top team in the Eastern Conference. One of the best teams in the NBA next to the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. They're better than Boston. They're better than Cleveland right now. Boston's behind them. When you look in the Raptors' rearview mirror, you know what you see? The Celtics and Cavs. You know what you see in the front view? Is nothing but a championship waiting our glory right now. And for the past few years, the Raptors have been a team that's been mean to be reckoned with. They've been a top 4 team in the East, top 5, whatever you want to go with in the threshold. They've been a great basketball team to watch and has done great for Canada. It's elevated basketball in Canada, which then has now improved NBA popularity because you have a country of 36 million people, nailed it and growing, that watch basketball now because of how good they're doing. How much of a joke is this that basketball is not getting the respect that it deserves? And like I said, this is not going towards and pointing fingers to the United States. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. I'm pointing it to the whole world outside of Canada that does not give Canada the respect that it deserves for the Raptors.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like outside of Leo Routens and Jack Armstrong doing the broadcast for the Raptors, like you never hear the Raps talked about on TNT ever. They don't get broadcast anywhere else. And I mean, sure, like you're going to broadcast Cleveland and Boston all the time, but we've been consistently very, very good in the East. Made the Eastern Finals in the past couple years. Took Cleveland to 6 games. I mean, and that's the year Cleveland won. So it's wild to think about. And baseball, I would argue, is even worse. Like, everybody assumes, like, when we beat the Royals and Joey Bats with the bat flip and everything. Rangers, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Lost the Royals, unfortunately.
Lost the Royals, that's what it was. But, like, they're just like, it was a fluke because they got smoked in the next round. It's like, no. Like, I dare you to go to another basketball arena, go to another ballpark, and see diehards like you do for the Jays and the Raptors. I dare you. You will not get a better atmosphere. Like, you go to Golden State, sure, you're having a great time. People are getting bored of them now. They're just jacking threes all day, winning games. They're getting bored. You go to a Raptors game, doesn't matter if we're terrible. If we're 10-70 on the season, or if we're first in the East, you have a crazy crowd all the time. People are loving life. Toronto fans are awesome. And you get a whole country behind you. Like, before I was really into basketball or into baseball, I was like, I'm going to cheer for the Jays, obviously. And I guarantee that I'm heightened right now because of the Olympics. I feel more national pride than ever right now.
Really, right?
It's
third in the medal standings. We're third in the medal standings. Where's the Olympic athletes of Russia? There's these steroid athletes that couldn't make it, right? That are probably still getting caught for drugs. I think somebody did.
He was curling.
For curling, yeah, for curling. United States, you're struggling. You're still the best athletes in the world, still in my opinion, but we're doing well in sports in general now.
And I listen to a couple other podcasts and different sports media, and they're all like, well, I mean, Canada's covered in snow, so of course they're going to do good in the Winter Olympics. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That's our wheelhouse. We know we're terrible in the Summer Olympics. We're very self-aware. Like, we don't have a lot of time to go. If you're in the States and you're a Winter Olympic athlete, go to Utah. You can train. You got all the time in the world. And if you're a Summer Olympic athlete, you're going to be in Florida or something. Stay in the warm area of the States. States is good for that. But bottom line, Raptors need more respect. And if they hold the 1 seed, like I said in the last segment, they're going to the finals.
Yes, they are.
Unfortunately, I think that's what it's going to take. And same thing for the Jays. They're going to have to make it all the way to the championship round. Like, they're going to have to make the ALCS. And the Raps have already made the Eastern Finals a couple years ago. They're going to have to make the NBA Finals, I think. Even if they lose. I think if they make it that far, you got that Team of Destiny thing at that point, right? And if they finish with a better record than the West, who knows? You get home court, man, and make it run there. Woo. Toronto would lose it. Vince Carter would sign for a day just to get a ring. And the city would go wild. Like, I think you'd finally hear Tracy McGrady talk about his Toronto days, which he apparently just swept under the rug. You never hear about it. He was so good in Toronto. I mean, he was good for the Rockets, too. Don't get me wrong, a Hall of Fame guy. And then, I'm heated, man. This is what the roundtable does to me.
It's heated for sure. Look at the Raptors. You brought up the Jays in terms of they lost to the Royals in the ALCS to pitching.
That's it.
They didn't have a better bats. The Royals did not have a better batting order than the Jays do. Nobody touched the Jays in pitching in batting. Sorry, even in pitching, we had great pitching, but so did the Royals that year. But their bullpen was the best in the MLB. Then you look at the next year against Cleveland. Cleveland, not a better batting order, smarter batting order, but not better. Pitching, no, we were still a better pitching, but they were better stats. They were in a worse division than what the Jays were in. But let's look at their bullpen. Again, the bullpen beat the Jays, and when somebody named Andrew Miller came out of the bullpen, you knew it was lights out. The guy pitched 3 innings. Nobody got hit off him. He even kept him in for the 9th inning in the last game because the Jays couldn't hit off him. Sure, we lost. We lost those games to Cleveland and the Royals. The Royals went on to win the World Series. Cleveland ended up wanting to lose against the Cubs. Feel it, Cleveland. Sorry, can't win them all. But at the end of the day, you have a sports team that was dominant in the MLB. They won back-to-back World Series within a span of 10 years of them being in the league. They have had many players play there that were top-notch. Doc Holliday, Roger Clemens, Joe Carter, Joey Bats is still a legend. Josh Donaldson's the best third baseman in baseball right now. Not Manny Machado. Josh Donaldson still is better than him, in my opinion. We got the best prospect coming up on third base. His name is Vlad Jr. If you want to look him up on Google, he's worth the Google because he is pumped to be a Jays fan. Our prospects are looking decent, even though we trade them all for Band-Aid Tulowitzki. We still have a good team.
We got to work on the sabermetrics a little bit, I think, but because Tulo is just not paying off right now. If he can get healthy, maybe, but holy.
And the Bronx Bombers are looking like the Bronx Bombers again with Giancarlo Stanton, Sanchez, and Judge at the helm. You got the Sox.
Side note, did you see the over-under bet about 100 home runs between the two of them? It was all over sports media. Over-under, they're going to hit 100 home runs. I'm going under 100%.
I'm going to go under. I think they're hitting 85. Yeah, Judge is hitting 30 this year. I think Stanton might hit the 55. Maybe Stanton because of the Bronx Bombers, but I think Judge is going to have kind of an off year and strike out a lot. Bold prediction from yours truly. The Red Sox getting JT Martinez. We're going to talk about that too until tomorrow. The Red Sox are trying to beef up. The Jays may not be better than these guys now. Bad in order, there's still contention with these guys. Believe it or not with the Yankees. The Yankees got better, more pop. But you know what, with pitching, having Yami Garcia there now, I like what the Jays have. The bullpen's a little ugly for the Jays, though. I want their bullpen.
The AL East it's crazy. It's the toughest division in baseball.
You have the Angels that are good. You have the Houston Astros that are good. Between the Yankees winning the other division, Boston probably being a lock for the wild card. The Jays got the battle for that wild card between them, Seattle. Oakland's not that bad either. You have teams that are going to compare for those other spots. Cleveland, can't forget about Cleveland. So the Jays might be in a tough spot this year, but they should have had the credit from a couple years ago. But my big point is the Raptors. Give them credit. There's a sports on TSN and Sportsnet. They've had talks with why aren't they getting this publicity? It's because the reporters, all these stations are in these bigger cities, and reporters don't want to come here to report. A lot of the issue is, and the big thing is, shame on you. Toronto is the best. It's the capital of Canada. No, Ontario. Oh, Ontario. Ottawa is the national capital. Sorry, Toronto's the capital of Ontario, but still. One of the biggest city in Canada. Okay. Yeah, we only have 36 million people, which is not as much or just as much as California. I don't have exact population amount in California, but end of the day, we are a damn good sports country, damn good sports team with Toronto, and we're winning we're going to the championship this year. The Jays are going to be competitive, and look at those Maple Leafs. We are on the map in the USA because we have to, because we're that damn good. The MLS beating Seattle earlier this year for the MLS. Toronto needs to get the damn respect it deserves, especially towards basketball, because they have damn well earned it. CFL, yeah, Ricky Ray's a legend in the CFL. Sure, it's not like the NFL, but CFL.
Get over here. Get your butts in Toronto. It's a fun city. You're going to have a good time. People, we're nice. We're all Canadian.
Sorry when we hit your car.
Absolutely. We'll bump into you and we'll apologize. And I'll probably buy you a beer.
A good Molson product. But like I said, put the damn Raptors on the map and stop giving them not the credit they deserve. Because if you don't, when we do beat you guys, you're going to be eating those words. And us Canadians, we're not going to be saying sorry. We're going to be saying shove it up your ass. Boom roasted. Moving on. Comparing the greats is our next topic. And I think this is where you and we spent the last 15 minutes talking about how the Raptors should be on the map. So with this roundtable, we got a bit more time here. Obviously, we need to kind of make the time. Comparing the greats, though. What is this? I'll tell you what this is. Jamie and I are going to be comparing the greats with two sports only. Basketball, which I think is going to be a clean sweep, spoiler. Then football, where people are going to trust Jamie's points over mine because he is the football expert. He is the co-host. Mine probably will be, but it's going to be statistical analysis based on my end, as a typical sports anchor would do. Comparing the greats, we'll start with the NBA. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, both in the prime. Both having the legacy that they currently have, the amount of rings, 6 rings to 5. Who are you taking? I'll start because you started last, so I'm going to jump in with this one. I'm picking MJ. The better athlete of the two is LeBron. 100%. LeBron can play the tight end for the Cleveland Browns right now. Actually, I could probably play for the Cleveland Browns at wide receiver. So take that back, sort of. LeBron can play in the NFL right now. I bet you if you taught LeBron how to skate, he can skate. Okay, he'd probably be one of the best hockey players. If you taught him how to play baseball like MJ did, I bet you he can crush dingers, LeBron. He's built like it. LeBron's built better than MJ. But the better basketball player? Hell no. I think it's close, but I'm going Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's the guy you want on your team. He's the guy that took the team on his shoulders. He took the guy who battled hard. He worked hard. In that old era, nothing was better than that old era. He had a good supporting cast with the 96 Bulls there. He had a great team with I could say Redman, but it's Rodman. But Scottie Pippen, right? You had the guys. Who did LeBron have when he won his first title? Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. He had some good company with the Cavs, with Kyrie and Kevin Love as well. He had some good talent there. Michael Jordan didn't build that team to free agency. The Bulls were built. And with MJ, he is the better basketball player all around. I still think LeBron be blocking those balls, but in terms of basketball, I'm going to pull out the obvious answer and say MJ. MJ wasn't a prima donna. He wasn't dramatic. He went to the game, he shut up and he worked. He didn't whine. He came back from playing baseball, pursuing other dreams. I have mad respect for this guy. He came back and won again for the Bulls. This guy knows how to play basketball better than anyone has ever played the game. LeBron's second best to him, but MJ is still the best. Jamie?
Yeah. So let's talk about that. First of all, I'm going to correct you. I don't mean to, but LeBron has 3 rings, not 5. Right. He's been to 5. Right. He's lost 2.
That's right. I stand corrected. Sorry. Yeah.
You done messed up, but we'll move on from that. MJ has been to 6 and won 6. We could end the argument there if we really wanted to. Yeah. Back-to-back three-peats. If you ignore MJ's little foray into minor league baseball, which I would argue makes him a good athlete too, all-around athlete. You can play minor league baseball. Tim Tebow did it. I mean, we're not going to compare Tim Tebow to MJ, but really, bottom line here, and is MJ was just and it's impossible to compare eras. You're never going to be able to do it. Michael is just, he was too good. He was too clutch. Like LeBron hasn't had those big moments. Sure, he's won NBA championships, and you brought it up where MJ's supporting cast was also very good. LeBron's has been very good when he's won championships. When he didn't have those guys, his first time with the Cavs when they went on that miracle run when he was a very young player, he had nobody. And they got swept in the finals. Didn't win a game in the finals. And then losing that to Boston in that Miami series, right? That was big. But the big thing with MJ is he was just so clutch. The guy in Game 5, I think it was Game 5 of the NBA Finals, played with 105-degree fever. And these are stories that get blown up over time. I'm sure 20 years after LeBron's retirement, this argument might be closer because who knows what he's going to do with the rest of his career. As of right now, you go 3 rings to 6, and I'll agree with you. LeBron, he's more of a specimen than MJ, for sure. He goes 6'8", 240 versus 6'6", 220, whatever it is. You don't have it's those iconic moments. Dunking from the foul line. Bananas. You want to talk about just a stadium erupting? What I would give to be in there for that dunk contest. First of all, I'd give up a lot, man. I'd probably go back and die the next day just so I could see that. I'm not gonna lie, that's dramatic, but I'm serious. MJ changed a generation. It's like Gretzky. It's MJ and Gretzky. They're the same category for me. Love LeBron. He's a baller. Love his heart. He's got too much other stuff going on, though, to be honest. His Instagram game is kind of weird. Loves it. He's got tons of fans. MJ's just, he did his business, man. He was swaggy in his own right. But you go Championship. Minor league baseball, semi-retired. Nah, I'm going to come back. Championship. See ya. Like, you can't beat that.
You can't. I'll never forget the moment where LeBron stared down MJ on his dunk in the air. You're not him, LeBron.
Get lost.
You're not him. And like I said, 3 rings, 5 finals, to correct myself. I knew that. You just get heated in the moment. But MJ 6 rings to his 3 is the only argument you need. It's like Jason Segel said in that movie in Bad Teacher. That's the only argument I need, Sean.
There it is.
That's the only argument that he needs. That is all he needs. That is all he needs to say. And MJ did it with mad swag and being clutch. One of the best shots hit in history, too, as well.
Give me Steph Curry. Give me MJ.
Give me LeBron over Steph still. That's another topic, maybe for another day. Next greats that we're going to compare, that you and I might have a little bit of fun here. People are going to take my... people are going to maybe agree with me, actually, on it.
I think you're going to get the popular vote.
I'm going to get...
Be mad about it.
Yeah, I'm going to get the popular vote, but you're going to get the knowledgeable vote. You got the inside analysis. Joe Montana. 4 Super Bowl rings. Tom Brady has the gauntlet. They call it the 5. The Thanos gauntlet, the evil empire, but I think Thanos gauntlet sounds so much better. I like it. Tom Brady or Joe Montana? I'm going to let you go first. Or do you want me to go first?
Well, I mean, you went first last time.
Yeah, okay, I'll let you go first. I'll share. Because then I'm going to... You go first. Joe Montana or Tom Brady?
So I'm going to lay down some facts here because I'm gonna kind of counter-argue where you haven't even argued yet. A lot of people are going to say, well, Brady has Belichick. Montana had Bill Walsh, 100%. Great coaching. Two of the greats, 100%. A lot of people are going to be mad because they're going to say Joe Montana was a system quarterback. I will argue with you to the end of time that Tom Brady is also a system quarterback because Charlie Weiss, who was his offensive coordinator when he got into the league, and he has gone on the record. And he is, because he was an assistant coach after he left. He's had his foot in the door. Charlie Weiss's son has coached with the Pats. And he has gone on the record saying the offense that the 2017 version of the New England Patriots run is 80% the same as the 2001 Patriots, which is a significant change. Josh McDaniels he was bred into that system.
Not a fan of McDaniels. All those Lions fans.
Yeah, that's a whole other zoo there. But this is what Tom knows. He knows his system, and that's how you get longevity in the NFL as a quarterback. Play really well, make the reads, have the same system around you. Joe Montana, though, again, I'll bring up the same thing as I did with MJ versus LeBron. He's had those moments. The catch to Dwight Clark, first of all, that really propelled his career. But what a lot of people don't talk about is the drive that went before that. It was a 6-minute drive, 8-up clock, ran the ball. Joe made the right throws, made the right reads. Joe Montana has had the best footwork in all of football at the quarterback position. 4 for 4. Did it just like Tom did across a time span. They won in the early 80s, won in the late 80s. And people argue, well, Bill Walsh didn't have confidence in him at the end of his career. Well, I mean, you had Steve Young there. As Bill Walsh, he's a coach. He wants to win. You got competition breeding. Joe Montana's value was higher than Steve Young's at that point. That was more of a business decision. And there was a lot of turmoil in the 49ers organization at that point. But Joe was just Captain Cool. Didn't have the fire that Tom Brady did. But that's kind of what I like in a quarterback more. I love the fire, but it's hard to harness that as a coach. Like, it's hard to go talk to that guy when there's 3 minutes left and he's losing his ever-loving mind, and you're trying to tell him, okay, they're running cover 2. This is how you beat this. And he's like, coach, just let me throw the ball. Like, that's kind of, you're hard-headed at that point. I can't argue. He's got him in rings. But Joe is 4 for 4, whereas Tom is 5 for 8. I'll hand it off to you.
See, those are mad stats. I call those mad stats in terms of knowledge and knowing that just by understanding the game from a full, impactful analysis perspective, which is why you're the co-host of the In the Pocket segment. Okay. I got to And I just started there saying, which is when you're a radio guy, that's not the one thing you want to say. And the reason why is because I'm really muttering through a lot of different thoughts based on what I understand and knowledge in terms of these two quarterbacks. And I'm going to be more on the statistical side of it, being more of a fan favorite prediction, I think, on this choice. And you know how much I actually do dislike Tom Brady. Not because of his talent, because of how much he wins. I hate it, and it sucks that my Steelers have to go through the Patriots to get to him. But this year I didn't have to worry about losing to Tom Brady. I had to worry about Blake frickin' Bortles. Okay, Blake Bortles, I know you're a fan of right now. But I'm going to go and say Tom Brady. First off, the gauntlet. What's the gauntlet? 5 rings to 4. That's my first. We just argued about MJ, and we argued about LeBron. It's the only argument I need, Sean. Okay? I'm going to go that route and say that. That's 1. I got to go the other side and say that, looking at a lot of different news articles, reading about it, how he has made more finals than Joe has. I'm going to go that route and why I think Tom. More Super Bowls. Thank you very much. More final Super Bowls. Third reason, Tom Brady's played all this for one team. Joe Montana played for San Fran and the Chiefs, but he only won in San Fran, may I add, and for 15 years, but Tom has stayed with one team. Tom has played 15% of the last Super Bowl since he's been active.
It's a stupid stat.
It's a stat. It's sad. No,
I don't mean it's a dumb stat. I just mean that's mind blowing to think about.
Yeah. There's a guy that has played in 8 Super Bowls opposed to Joe playing 4, getting to the finals. That's at 7. Yes. 7.5. I've been kind of just looking at different kind of stats while you were talking, but Brady's crown, for example, I don't think can ever be touched. I just can't see how him being the rings is not the top argument to win it all. But they had their comeback against Jacksonville this year, and who knows if the Madden curse stepped on in for the Madden cover, for example, for him to lose in the Super Bowl to Nick Foles and the Philadelphia Eagles. But all the millions of fans in football are going to say Brady, so I know a lot of people are going to take my perspective. And I think this argument has been over for a year. I'm going to keep going back. It's been over because Brady has won another Super Bowl. One more Super Bowl than Joe has. And if he would have won this year, which he didn't, if he would have won this year, it just would have cemented that even more. In the 2 eras that the quarterbacks played, we can't compare eras, as we said. It's completely different. Even if you want to weigh it in, though, I still think that it's no contest. And I'm taking a quote from the Mercury News with that. So I'm going to jump in and say, quote, unquote here, based on stats. The simple argument is that Brady has been to 8 Super Bowls in 16 seasons, which is 50%, starting and as a Patriots quarterback. He didn't start his rookie year. He was injured in the first game in 2008 season, mind you. Brady has made the Super Bowl in half of his active seasons. That's untouchable. No one's touching that. You have Joe Montana has the undefeated record for the Super Bowl, as you said, which not be touched. But he was invincible, but he didn't get them to 8 Super Bowls. Got them to 4 before having to jump ship to Kansas City, which nothing happened in Kansas City. Mainly Tom Brady is 18th on the all-time passing list. Brady is the all-time leader, the NFL's all-time leader in wins. Let's go to that stat. And that, I hear, is pretty important to get you to the Super Bowl and win all those games. He's won MVPs at the Super Bowl. I believe Tom Brady's won 4 Super Bowl MVPs, where Joe Montana's won 3. I thought I was going to say 2, but I thought it's 3. So he's won 1 more there. Let's go through. Brady played through an injury in 2002 when he won. All these other stats. Just the only thing that's on him is cheating, the deflate gate, which Joe never had. That's the only negative I got to say about Brady, and how he wins all the time. I dislike it. But those are my stats based on Brady being better than Montana.
All right, I'll ask you a question here, Mr. Google, as you look up your stats here. Who was Tom Brady's favorite quarterback growing up? Joe Montana. Where did Tom Brady grow up? San Francisco, man. He was there with his dad. Tom Brady's first NFL game was the game that Joe Montana began his legacy, the catch to Dwight Clark to beat the Cowboys. And we keep saying, and I'm not going to go beat this to death, is you can't compare eras. It's just about impossible. But I will bring up some stats and some testimonies, I'll say, from previous players throughout the league in the past. Because there's great debate at different positions, right? Like Walter Payton versus Emmitt Smith, right? Yes. There's great debate for running backs, right? Sure, Emmitt has the record, but you ask Emmitt Smith, who's the greatest running back of all time, it's either Jim Brown or Walter Payton. It's never Emmitt Smith. Jim Brown's unreal, for sure. Yeah. Jimmy, for sure. I'll bet you, if you ask Joe, he's a huge Brady fan, for sure. These guys are all in the same fraternity, right? There's like 20 quarterbacks that are in this Hall of Fame list. Because there's a couple quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame that aren't even in this conversation, right? Like there's a lot of guys there that are exceptional players. Favre, right? Like, yeah, there's tons of guys though. Yeah, Elway, Johnny. There's so many guys. Yeah, Roger Staubach. There's all these guys, and I love Tom. Don't get me wrong, Michigan boy, love my Wolverines. Battled his butt off his whole career. Kudos to you. Right? 6th round pick, whereas Joe was a 3rd round pick out of Notre Dame. But it's the legacy thing, man. Memorable moments. First Super Bowl for Joe Montana. They're down by 3 with 3 minutes left. Classic soundbite, classic sound effects from the NFL. He jumps in the huddle. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's staring at him. They don't know what's going on. They're playing Cincinnati, who's a very good team that year. Joe just goes, "Hey, guys, look, it's John Candy." Just chill as hell. Everybody immediately calms down. They go down, throws a touchdown, wins the game. Absurd. And sure, you had Jerry Rice, right? That helps you, for sure.
One of, if not the best.
Yeah. And you can say that Joe had a much better supporting cast than Tom did. I mean, I'll argue that Gronk's ridiculous. In Tom's younger days, like you had Cord Dillon at running back, you had all these guys. You had studs all over the place.
Always had good defense.
Always had very good defense, right? And the Niners had a good D too. But man, I'm gonna argue this to the end of time. Like Joe's legacy, what he did for the sport. And you can say Staubach and Terry Bradshaw did the same thing. Before Tom Brady got in the league, it was a no-brainer, I think, for most people that Joe Montana was the best ever. And sure, he left for Kansas City. Guess what he did the year after he left? He walked into San Francisco and just laid like 40 points on them, beat the crap out of them. He's like, "Why'd you get rid of me?" Steve Young, who? And they're friends, don't get me wrong. But Tom's never going to have that opportunity. He's going to retire Patriot for sure, as he should, and that keeps his legacy alive. But I don't think Joe's legacy is diminished. He was still a first ballot Hall of Famer, no problem. Still got 4 rings. Still got 3 MVPs in the Super Bowl. Still got the sweetest feet I've ever seen. And he's still Tom's favorite quarterback.
That's a good point that he was, and maybe without Joe Montana, we have no Tom Brady. Good point. I still say Tom. You say Joe. I had my points. That was really research analysis in depth to those few points and knowledge. I can't say I don't know. Obviously, I know. Or else I wouldn't be running a sports show. Nor would you. Good points by both of us. Who do you think, the listeners out there, who won this debate between Tom Brady or Joe Montana? We'll leave it up to the listeners for sure. And the panel members that aren't here tonight, I'm curious to see their reactions when they listen to the show. Bonus question before we take a break, before we come back to wrap up our final questions on the round table, because we're going to take a break. Again, the producers in the ear asking me to take a quick break because we have an extra 20 on the show tonight, so we're going to use that to ask the rest of the questions because we've been rolling here. Bill Walsh or Bill Belichick? Quick answer for that, Jamie. What do you think? I'm going to go Bill Belichick. Who do you got? supporting the Patriots. Oh my God.
Does that hurt you?
A lot. I am really. I might need. Yeah, I might need to be checked later. I don't know if I've been brainwashed.
You could say you're supporting like the Bill Parcells Giants with Lawrence Taylor playing defense too. You could say that because Bill Belichick was the DC, and that's going to go along with Bill Belichick's ridiculous. I love Bill Walsh. I think Bill Walsh is the best offensive mind of all time.
Yes. Him, yes, definitely.
I'll counterpoint that and say that I think Bill Belichick might be the best coach of all time and the best defensive mind of all time. And when they've gone head-to-head, which they did when Bill was the DC for the Giants, when they won a couple Super Bowls in the 80s and early 90s, Bill Belichick won every time. And that's the reason why the Niners would have 2 more Super Bowls if it wasn't for Bill Belichick twice calling an unbelievable game defensively. Also, having Lawrence Taylor, who's the best outside linebacker / sack guy in the history of the league. One of the most terrifying defenders ever. But, yeah, Bill Belichick overall and defense, Bill Walsh offense.
Wow, imagine they coached together. My Lanta. We're going to take a quick break here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. It's Dave McCaig alongside Jamie Antonello. When we come back, we're going to continue the last few topics of the newly famous roundtable for our Wednesday edition of the Game Sports Show. Don't go anywhere. Jamie and I are going to Magiato the pizza and sip on these motion products. And when we come back, like I said, more roundtable. We'll be back after this message from our sponsors.
Thank you for tuning in to the Game Sports Show, broadcasting Wednesday nights from Sportscenter Bar and Grill in Sault, Ontario, and online at thegamesportshow.podbean.com. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. If you want to hear more of the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national talk show in the world of sports, visit our website at thegamesportshow.com. There you can hear a pair of other broadcasts of the game. If you like hockey, Thursday nights are for you, as the Game Sports Show is at Boston Pizza with Dave McCaig, along with his regular contributors Justin Heichel and Dane Hantro. This show focuses on hockey in the wintertime and baseball in the summer, and includes guests and interviews from local and national figures. The game can also be heard Monday nights on WUPN Eagle 95.1 locally, or online at RadioEagleSoo.com from 6 to 7 p.m. on Monday nights. The full 2-hour show from the Wicked Sister in downtown Sault, Michigan can be heard live on our YouTube channel. Just go to the channel Scott Nason. You can also hear the podcast of the show at thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Yours truly, along with Dave McCaig and our weekly contributors Butch Davis from the Telegram News and Butch on Sports, and EJ Russell on the Team Wireless hot seat, as we focus on local, regional, and national sports, including high school basketball and hockey, junior hockey, Lake Superior State University athletics, the Detroit sports scene, and more. And you can hear all 3 versions of the game at our website. That's once again thegamesportshow.com, or go to the podcast page, thegamesportshow.podbean.com. You can also find us on YouTube. Just look for our channel, Scott Nason, and keep it locked here to the game for all your local, regional, and national sports talk that you just can't get enough of.
Get wicked at the Wicked Sister. You'll find the best tasting food for the whole family. Start off with some appetizers like the crab dip, served with warm naan bread strips and soft pretzel bites, or their antibiotic and hormone-free boneless chicken wings with 5 choices of sauces. Entrees include the barbecue pulled pork sandwich, the #1 selling drunken cow burger, or Philly cheesesteaks, and they're on special all day Thursdays. The Wicked Sister also offers a gluten-free menu and catering. Bring the whole family. The Wicked Sister, downtown Ashman Street, open 7 days a week.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the 2nd year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Hi, this is Paul Maurice from the Winnipeg Jets, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, David McCaig. Been here all night, Sportscenter Bar and Grill, Wednesday, February the 21st, and I've been alongside Jamie Antonello and, of course, the beautiful Alicia White.
Easy.
Scotty Nason at the helm with the board operations as well. and in my ear, always telling me what to do. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's not. But he's in my ear, keeping me in line, as I like to say. We're going to continue our roundtable discussion here, Jamie. We've kind of went over the show. It was supposed to be an hour tonight. We are currently an hour and 8 on the show. We're going to go to about an hour 25 at tops, maybe hour 30 tops, which is more like our Boston Pizza show and a lot of like our game sports show Mondays as well. We're always in that hour and a half range. So we're going to keep it in that range for you. That's the good thing about this roundtable discussion. We got into that nice topic last break, and that's why we had to take a break because our topics were a little bit longer last time with great knowledgeable points about yourself and me. 50% knowledge, 50% statistical research for why I selected Brady. But we got a couple more topics to discuss here that we had to jump into that the listeners definitely wanted to hear, in my opinion. But the big thing that I'm going to start, and we're going to start off with this fun thing that I'm going to call the B shit article of the week. Okay? We don't like swearing. We only say limited ones on this show, but the reason why we say it's because it's comical and sometimes it's most needed. And this is the most B shit article I've ever seen. B shit, that's BEE dash shit article. Now, if that's live here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill saying that, which will be agree because here's the article that Jamie's going to get full in depth to, and this is going to be a roundtable discussion on this factor, is if this person is true or false. This is why it's a roundtable discussion. Ex-49er Gary Plummer states that he's had 2,500 concussions. True or false? What in the flying hell do you think? I'm going to go false. Jamie, what is this nonsense? These nonsense comical people trying to get extra attention from the media, from me and yourself, wasting our breath instead of eating this delicious food or sipping on these Molson products. Talking about ex-49er Gary Plummer, who must have a plumber's crack mind to think that he's had 2,500 concussions.
Yeah. So as a coach, I get this all the time. Mostly it's from parents who are concerned about their 15-year-old having brain damage after one concussion. And well, I'll get real for a second here and talk about like the way we deal with concussions is improved dramatically over the last 10 years. Like it's, we used to handle it terribly, but 2,500. I'm sorry, you're not here anymore, buddy. Like you're
dead.
Yeah,
You are dead. DEAD. Dead.
You don't have a concussion. You spelled that right. Gary Plummer could not probably spell that right.
Did he get his name from the Plummer Hospital General in Sault Ste. back in the day?
I think he was a patient here. Might be in the psych ward with this claim. Holy cow! But and I'll read directly from this article that the Gary backing it up. His exact quote was, "If you're not getting at least 10 concussions a game as a middle linebacker in the NFL, that means you didn't play that day." I played 250 games, so with that math of at least 10 a game, that's minimum 2,500 concussions. And then he went on to talk about CTE and a lot of things about that, and it's just controversial topics all over the place. And the NFL is doing a lot to deal with that and help alleviate that, hopefully in the future. It's a contact sport. You're going to deal with it. You're going to have some concussions. He talked about his symptoms since retiring. One of the symptoms was headaches. Guess what, buddy? A lot of the population gets headaches, man. I'm sure it doesn't help that you hit people for a living with your dome, but he also said he has some anxiety. Sure, a lot of people have that too, man. You got some memory loss. I mean, I really don't remember what I did last Friday night. That was not related to hitting people. That was probably related to the number of Molson products I drank. But, dude, like, I think this topic's closed. You don't have 2,500 concussions. You would not be walking around anymore, let alone being able to speak. Like, let's check you into the Plummer Hospital there, Gary Plummer, and put this issue to bed. You maybe had 10. Let's be real. Maybe 10.
Eric Lindros, Chris Pronger.
Definitely had more than him, for sure.
If he's had 2,500 concussions, Lindros must have 5,000.
I would say 10,000.
Or 88,000. Because I said 88 because it's his hockey number. But the thing is, Lindros took 2 big hits from Stevens, and the guy can barely function. Chris Pronger has to do eye and mind exercises because he's had 3 big ones. You've had 2,500 in your damn career. I don't care if they're all minor. They're not. I think he said it's some major ones in there. Yeah. So he said he had some major ones. Go fly a kite with this ludicrous story. Luda. Moving on. That was a roundtable discussion I had to get off my chest for the B shit story of the week, which might not be a weekly occurrence, but you know what? I think that's a fancy catchphrase.
I like it.
Might catch on. Even though I don't like the last final 4 letters, we'll have to edit that a little bit as we go, as the show goes on with it, but I like it. It's catchy right now. Next thing, a little bit more serious. A lot more serious before we get to our last topic, which we all know what the last topic is. Racism. Wow. I never thought I would be talking about racism. I know one of the rules on the show is we don't like talking political. We usually like talking about racism. But I'm bringing it on this roundtable. A highly controversial topic, much to maybe producer dismay, much to maybe dismay to discuss. It's kind of an uncomfortable topic to talk about. It is. It's almost like talking religion. There's no right answer. Racism, you know what? There is no right answer because it is somebody's opinion. But this is 21st century. There is a right opinion now to racism. And if you are still in the battle of racism, you're back in the early days and you need to get back in with modern times. So I'm saying it's not like a religious conversation. I'm not saying that it is a political conversation because the only 2 topics you can't win at are religion and politics. Sorry, racism's not in that conversation anymore. I don't give a damn what your opinion is. This is the 21st century. And speaking of our prime minister in Canada, if you want to go political, it's called people kind now, not mankind, if you want to go that route. That's another topic that we don't have to talk about on a sports show. Maybe we can have a political show one day. But on top of our sports show, racism in the game today. We're gearing this towards Devontae Smith-Pelly. The issue with the Washington Capitals, the fans. Why is this still a thing, Jamie? Why in the heck is racism still a thing? It's in every sport now. It's hockey. Never heard of it really much in hockey. Last kind of some notable stories. Kevin Weeks had bananas thrown on the ice by Montreal fans who was the Carolina Hurricanes. You have Anson Carter, who kind of dealt with a few things. Trevor Daley had a little bit of an issue here in town. We will not jump into that, but we know exactly what happened here. Hockey, it's been big with that. Football, I think you can dive in more to the news with jumping into the racism side of things. Baseball. It's more of a culture thing when it comes to baseball and culture targeting. Not really much color, but still racism topic. That is still a racism topic. We're talking about someone's nationality. That, in my opinion, is still a racism topic. And is that an educational point? I think it is. Racism in general, though, when it comes to African Americans, African culture, skin colors, whatever comfortable way to say it. I'm comfortable saying African American. Even if they're not American, there's African Canadian, there's African Chinese, there's a bunch more Africans kind of. I'm going to go African American for generalized topics because it's simple for me to say. How is this still a part of the game? Why is this still a part of the game? What's your view before I jump to mine? Because obviously mine, I'm disgusted how people can still call somebody the famous N-word or other terms that are geared to that.
Yeah, and it's any slur that relates to any nationality or ethnicity, whatever it is, specifically related to the most recent incident with Devontae Smith-Pelly. I'm pretty disgusted as a Chicago Blackhawks fan, and I'm glad that the organization dealt with it swiftly. I really hope that these guys get a little bit more repercussions, to be honest, because there's 4 of them. Guys in the penalty box ganging up on them. That's absurd. Like you see a lot of stuff with guys in the penalty box, like fans heckling. There's heckling, and then there's just being an asshole and a despicable human, which is what these guys were. And it doesn't matter like what nationality you are. It doesn't matter that the guy's black. I'm comfortable saying the guy's black. Like, he knows he's black. He knows he's a minority in the league, 100%. There's no denying that. That's a stat. It doesn't mean he's not a good hockey player. He's a heck of a hockey player. He's earned his right. Doesn't matter his nationality. Doesn't matter his skin color. And it's unfortunate that some people are still so close-minded, despite the fact that it's 2018 and things are getting better across the world. But it's absurd, and unfortunately it takes these type of acts and these incidents popping up for people to remember half the time. which is terrible. Like, just be a good person. Don't be a brutal human. But yeah, I'm disgusted with it too. It's crazy. And it doesn't matter what sport it is. It doesn't matter if you play sports. It doesn't matter what. It's not acceptable. It doesn't matter what. Like, everybody in history, what Martin Luther King did in history, and with that, I'm going way off the rails now. But like, you're knocking America back years just because you're drunk at a game and you're just being a racist. That's it.
See, the big thing is, and you have the guys that were at the Blackhawk game are now banned from home games.
Should be banned from any game.
There should be a ban from the NHL. I totally agree. This has gone national news, obviously. You've hit CBC, you've hit Fox, you've hit CTV, you've hit Sportsnet, you've hit the big news outlets. And with that, I don't give a damn if you're drunk. I've been intoxicated. Everybody has been intoxicated. Oh, right. Everyone's been intoxicated that's of age. Please be 18-year-olds or plus enjoying those products. But you do say things you don't mean. 100%. That does come out. Sometimes you don't think when you talk. That does happen. But with these types of situations, that never just comes out. I'm sorry. I don't care how intoxicated you are. Anyone in the right mind in today's society is educated enough since the early 80s or 70s that that's not right to say. Since the term was deemed illegal or deemed harassment or deemed not appropriate, we've been educated as a human race not to say that to blacks. It's the same if we have a term for whites. Same if we have a term for our friends in Europe. It doesn't matter. It does not matter where you're from. It does not matter. You're still people too, which I get. Trudeau's quote of people kind. I get it, along with transgender issues, which are big as well, but we're not on that topic. We're on the racism topic in the world of the National Hockey League and sports. So stick with that. It does not matter what your skin color is. You're an individual with human being, the feelings and a heartbeat, and that you also have a functioning brain, and you also are the same individual, just a different color skin. It does not matter. Back in the days with Jackie Robinson, that was the big breakthrough in sports, number 42, that people still wear that number. Maybe everyone should wear that number in the world of sports, even though it's this particular day in baseball. Maybe everyone should wear a number so you can't tell us apart. That's what Pee Wee said. Pee Wee Reese said for second base and for the Dodgers. And look at how it's caught on with that. And it grew since then, and now it's not. We don't even look at that situation because we should be so past it now. We should be so past it. Like, we shouldn't even be talking about it right now on the show. But we are, because we have some silly fans that can't control their booze. Most likely not Molson products. Okay? But at the end of the day, please keep it classy, world. We're all the same people. We all have the same feelings. We all come from the same world. We're all sharing this world. Appreciate each other. And especially in the world of sports, appreciate the talent that is on the ice. Jamie?
And bottom line, we are all part of the human race. We're all humans. Same makeup, same genetic makeup, different skin color. We're from different places. We're raised differently. But bottom line, we're all the same people. Shouldn't happen.
We went with the sports show, connected it with a political view, but we had to get that out there because that's definitely a topic that we had to jump into for sure. Jamie, we got one more topic on the roundtable that you're going to spearhead. It's not going to be a debate because I know the roundtable comes in two forms. It's more of a debate session like we've already had tonight, or more of a fact-leading discussion leading thing. We're going to let you jump into talking about how does the combine affect the draft status in the National Football League, and let you spearhead that. I may throw a couple 2 cents in afterwards to that before we conclude tonight's show.
And yeah, so Combine's coming up. Our next segment from SportsCenter with our roundtable will follow up the NFL Combine. So we better make sure we talk a little bit of preview. But bottom line, if you're a good player and you've put it all on tape, the Combine should not really affect your draft status. Bottom line. Now, is that how it works? No. But if you're a fringe guy or you're one of those guys who just barely got invited to the combine, you can either A, prove why you got the invite by testing well, and it's absurd, some of the stuff they make these guys do. The D-line drills are hilarious, personally, for me to watch, because they're having D-linemen do change of directions out in space like they're playing free safety just to see how fast they are. And as time progresses, you're getting guys testing significantly better. You're getting O-linemen with ridiculous 40 times. And it's kind of making some of the guys from 20 years ago feel bad. Anquan Bolden, one guy, stud wide receiver. Unbelievable. What a player. Bunch of different organizations, most notably Arizona. Had a terrible 40 time in the combine. Still went on to have like 95 catches in his rookie season for Arizona. Ran like a 4.8. And then this past year, 2 different O-linemen beat him. They both weighed about 85 pounds more than him. And he keeps getting brought up. So, bottom line, if you're a wide receiver, don't run a 4.8. If you know you're a 4.8 guy, just don't run. Otherwise, you'll be Anquan Bolden forever. But the big topic going into the draft, really, last year was kind of the year of the running back. You had Leonard Fournette, you had Dalvin Cook. Hopefully his knee's repaired and doing well. And you had Christian McCaffrey. This year, it's really the year of the quarterback. You got Josh Rosen. You got Sam Darnold. You got Big Boy from Oklahoma, slinging the rock. Heisman Trophy winner. Baker Mayfield. Josh Allen from Wyoming. Like that, those 4 guys alone. And a lot of people love Josh Allen because he's big dude. He's more prototypical than the rest. Josh Rosen, technically and mechanically, might be the best guy. Baker Mayfield just wins. Sam Darnold is just, he's a playmaker out there. He's kind of that underdog. He's kind of, you look at him, like everybody remembers the Tom Brady combine photos where he just looks kind of like a lump of a human, not really testing well. Sam Darnold might do that. Sam Darnold might run a 6-second 40-yard dash. He's not an athlete, but he can sling the heck out of a rock. And I'd be curious your opinion on this, Dave, but I know, bottom line, my opinion on it is if you're a stud and you've put a lot of good stuff on film and you play for a good team, your coach is willing to go to bat for you, your draft stock is really not going to change a whole lot based on your combine because everybody looks wild in shorts. Like, you're going to look good in shorts. You got nobody hitting you. You got no pressure. There's nobody with the pads on. There's no 300-pound dudes coming to kill you and end your career. But if you're a fringe guy who doesn't really have a lot of film, or maybe you were a Division II guy, kind of like Carson Wentz was, Division II guy, didn't put a lot of film up against top-quality competition. But again, I personally, a lot of coaches are going to look more at, did you play in the East-West Bowl or the Senior Bowl? Because they want to see you with the pads on. You could run a 4.440 as an O-lineman, be the fastest O-lineman in history, and if you get burned in film, you're never going to get drafted. You're never going to survive. You maybe get drafted and play a year, or you get drafted and you get cut because you suck. You're an athlete, but you're not a good O-lineman. You'll be a guy who dominates in his men's league forever, but you're never going to get paid for it. I'd be curious your opinion on this.
Just overall draft status in terms of the combine for the NFL. You know, it's so, I think it's more tedious than what hockey is, especially in general for terms of lack thereof for me. It is. And I think one impression makes it all. But I think that's generalized for all sports. In terms of one impression, and I'm going to compare it to hockey more or less than this, but a scout can go watch a junior player playing for the NOJHL or playing for the BCHL or playing junior hockey in the OW or the Q. One scout comes to watch you, he doesn't like your first shift, he crosses you off the list and walks out of the hockey arena. That is a thing. Football. You see a college guy, you watch him you probably give him a chance more than one play because football is a major amount of different plays. But I feel like you have that one game to prove yourself, and that one game you have off, you can hurt yourself. You know, but if you get invited, you didn't have that one game, that's your chance to prove yourself. There's a lot of underlying factors that lead up to the combine that may lead up before that because someone maybe has came to watch you. And obviously if you get invited, you've been watched and have interest from a scout or multiple scouts. And that comes from hockey, football, baseball, basketball. In the world of sports, when it comes to drafting, at a draft combine or at a draft camp or any kind of draft prospect where you're doing testing, more so to answer this question, you have to stand out in a certain way, I think, to make an impression. However, if your name is Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, you got the name. Sam Bennett for Calgary, for example, when he got drafted, did 0 chin-ups. 0 chin-ups. The guy got drafted 4th overall, the Calgary Flames. He was one of the top scorers. His name represented himself. However, if Dave McCaig or Jamie Antonello goes to that NFL camp, we got to show ourselves. Because last I checked, Dave McCaig wasn't on the NHL scout radar since I was 18 years old. Even if then. Jamie Antonello wasn't on really since Sabercat Day. I don't know if... I'm just saying, for example, it's at the end of the day, you got to make yourself known. I have the mentality where you got to make yourself known. I don't care give a damn if you're Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, or if you're Pavel Datsyuk, who got drafted 7th round, 8th round. To show up and show you who your worth is. If you want to be there and if you work hard, you will get there. That's the old corny cliche, but if you do work your butt off, things do work out. Even if it doesn't get into that involved with the world of sports, you get to work out and you have pride in yourself. I like that long shot story for Madden, to stick with hockey. Look at that guy who went undrafted, and at the end of the spoiler alert, pause this 15 seconds if you don't want to know what happened at the end of that. The guy, his friend got drafted, but then he went undrafted, then it got called to assign for a team. You make yourself known in which way. So to answer your question, Jamie, with this combine, I think, you run a 4.8 or you run these different statistics that I don't fully understand in football, to be honest with you. You still got to make yourself known in this. You have to stand out some way, somehow. Speed, build, attire. I don't care if you're wearing white shoes. I don't care if you're wearing pink shoes to represent breast cancer. God bless. I'm just saying, do something. You do something to stand out, and you maintain that standout. That guy that ran good, he's wearing that pink shoes. Dave McCaig, oh yeah, he ran pretty good there. He's undrafted. Make yourself known in a way, and these draft combines is a way to make yourself known. These players should be going out there and giving it their all. And if you get beat by somebody who you shouldn't get beat by, so be it. Because if they see that you're working hard, heart is hard to teach. Talent is natural. It's those intangibles. Heart is not natural. Heart is earned, heart is shown, and that's rare and definitely appreciated by coaches. So does it affect it? You say maybe on the border, or more so it doesn't. I'm going to say it does. If I'm a coach, I know that guy out there is trying hard, wants to be there, and that who has my eye.
And to bolster your point, you still get all 32 head coaches and general managers, the guys who make every decision. Bottom line, they're the guy who make the check on who they're going to draft. They're at the combine. So
you're there for a reason. Now you have one individual who was maybe watching to get there, but now you got all 30, 31, 32 individuals watching you. But that does it for our roundtable discussion. What a great conversation that Jamie and myself has had here tonight with this roundtable. Just being the two of us was pretty damn entertaining, may I add. We had quite the show. We talked golf with Bubba Watson, and then we connected that with the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game with Bubba Watson, again, absolutely stuffed by Tracy McGrady. Then we talked the All-Star Game in general. And then we also talked to NBA in complete general with the Toronto Raptors and the predictions this year from myself and even Jamie about where they're going to end up and where they should land. Before we went into our roundtables discussion, we had multiple topics. We jumped into a good number of topics talking about how the Raptors may not be respected in the world of sports, and especially in the NBA. We talked about the Joe Montana, Tom Brady debate. We talked about LeBron James, Michael Jordan debate. We talked about racism in the game. We talked about ex-NFLer Gary Plummer and his 2,500 concussions being the shit story of the week. We had numerous conversations here today on this roundtable, and I'm very excited, Jamie, to have this roundtable continue into our Wednesday edition, especially within our off-season of the In the Pocket segment. With that being in the off-season, like I said, on Wednesdays, we usually have In the Pocket basketball, golf, and all variety of sports. With In the Pocket being in the off-season, it's majority just going to be basketball, variety of sports, and, of course, every week we'll have the roundtable discussion. The roundtable discussion will be in the show, though, when In the Pocket does return at kickoff season, though, because that is a topic that's much enjoyed on the Monday show. So why not bring it over to the Wednesday show, as on the Thursday show, with Boston Pizza, we have so much hockey and baseball to talk about with live guests as well. So we don't really get into a roundtable discussion. So I'm glad that we have it here on the Wednesday show. And just to remind you, our trivia question for Boston Pizza still needs to be answered for this week. How many TVs, how many HD TVs are in Boston Pizza? Send an answer. You're going to get a free prize. Walk into Boston Pizza, count the TVs, send me the answer on the Game Sports Show, ssm@gmail.com, or get a hold of me through text or Facebook or through our Podbean page, thegamesportshow.podbean.com, and comment at the bottom below on that respective show from last Thursday. Again, you can hear the Monday show, 6 to 7 live on 95.1, then 7 days pre-recorded before it's put on the Podbean page. That Monday show is going to be off until the next couple weeks, until the second week of March, as we have, some basketball. We have stuff going on 95.1, but we're going to have some different changes here to substitute for that. I'm going to get to that in just a second. Our Wednesday show, we always here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill from 9:30 till about 11 o'clock. We're here on Monday, famous wing night. Monday, Wednesday. It's a little bit of a tongue twister for me to say right now. 75 cents, but when we're here on Wednesday, to 75 cents, 4 to 12 for those wings, and it's eaten only here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, where we're going to talk in the pocket sometimes. And then, obviously, in the pocket all the time when it's in season, basketball and our roundtable discussions, along with variety of sports. And Thursdays, as I mentioned, at Boston Pizza, where we talk hockey and baseball. Now, for those agenda changes, this week, we are going to be at Boston Pizza tomorrow, February the 22nd. We're going to be there at 9:15. We're recording by 9:15, 9:30. By myself, Dane Hantro, and Justin Heichel. We do not have any guests coming on this week. We took a break from getting guests because we have a lot to talk about in the world of local sports. We have to talk about the trade deadline coming up, and also baseball. Spring training being underway, so it'll be us three on the panel tomorrow night at Boston Pizza. Come on by. Enjoy the great Molson products there, and also enjoy the show and the great atmosphere at Boston Pizza, where you're among friends. Next week, and the following week. So that is the week of the 26th and also of the 5th of March. We have some agenda changes. Those agenda changes. On February 26th, and this is going to be after dinner, we're going to be at Boston Pizza at 7 p.m., recording by 8 o'clock for sure. We're going to be at Boston Pizza. Myself, Dane, Justin, and Brad Cocciamilli will be coming by as well. We're going to be talking NHL trade deadline day, because that is the trade deadline day. So that's a schedule change from Thursday. We're still there this Thursday, like I said, but we're not going to be there next Thursday. We're only going to be there Monday next week. We do not have a 95.1 live show or a Wicked Sister show. And we are also not going to have a Sports Center show next week. We are going to have that canceled as well. We're only going to have one show next week, and it's going to be live at Boston Pizza at 7 p.m. We're going to be there recording by 8, where we have myself, Dane, Justin, and Brad on the panel, where we also have Zach Turquato coming in as a guest as well, and we're also hoping Greg Hartsburg will be on the show as well next week. So we've got quite the action-packed show there next week. So it's just going to be on the 26th, where we have a Boston Pizza show, Monday special edition, with no Sports Center show next week or Wicked Sister show. The following week, March the 5th, we are going to be here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill for the Sports Center show, which is usually our Wednesday show. We're going to be here live on Monday the 5th at normal time. We're going to have the 9 p.m. time. We're going to probably be here maybe even around 8 o'clock, but we're going to be recording after that around 9, and we're going to have Combine follow-up. We're going to have some in-the-pocket off-season edition there, along with some basketball updates, some other sport updates, where we hope to have our WWE character make their debut, Nathan Inch, coming on by, along with our famous Roundtable edition. So that's March the 5th. Don't confuse that for March 7th, Wednesday. It's going to be March the 5th, because we will not be at the Wicked Sister on the March 5th. March the 8th, we will be at Boston Pizza for our normal time on Thursday at Boston Pizza, where myself, Dane, and Justin will be live there at 9 p.m., recording by 9:30, talking hockey locally, professionally, regionally, all the 9 yards of hockey, and with potential baseball updates as well. After that, going into the March 12th week, we will be back to normal time. We'll have the March 12th, we'll be live at the Wicked Sister at 6 p.m. on 95.1. Wednesday the 14th, we will be here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. And then March 15th, where we continue into our Boston Pizza Show on Thursday. So quick recap. Next week, we just have a show the 26th at Boston Pizza. And we're going to be there. It's around 7, recording around 8 o'clock for a trade deadline show. We're talking hockey all that week. We do not have a SportsCenter or Wicked Sisters show. The following week, we will be here at SportsCenter Bar and Grill March the 5th, which is the Monday, not the Wednesday. And that is around 8 o'clock. We'll be recording by 9. And then Thursday the 8th, we are back again at Boston Pizza for the Thursday show, back to the regular agenda going into the March the 12th, where we're back to the full regular agenda of Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So that was a full tongue twister I wanted to get out to you there, the listeners. Hopefully that all made sense. I repeated it quite a number of times to you. Hopefully you wrote it down. If any confusion, don't hesitate to comment on the Podbean page. Don't hesitate to text me or get a hold of myself or Scott Nason for an update on that agenda. And once again, you can follow us on the gamesportshow.podbean.com to simply put in your email. Click it through Facebook or on my Facebook page. Just log into Podbean. You just got to type in your email. You do not get any junk mail, any promotions, nothing like that. And then you just hit follow. And every time the Game Sports Show gets popped up, you get to listen. And we like to have the followers as well, do all of us. So I know a lot of people have not wanted to click the follow button because they're hesitant about the email side of things. It's like watching it through our YouTube page, which is great. Subscribe to our YouTube channel with Scott Nason. However, we love the following on the show as well. So make sure you do that. Follow us on podbean.com, thegamesportshow.podbean.com, the website, www.thegamesportshow.com. We have all that up to launch. You can subscribe to the website as well. And with that, we're going to have our merchandise launching very shortly as well. We're going to have Under Armour fabric shirts. And I'm not saying Under Armour in terms of being a sponsor. I'm saying that they're fabric, which is world famous fabric. But we have 2 charitable organizations joining the show as well. One for sure, we're just in the mix of a conversation with one right now to get an agreement in place where we are going to have the shirts where we sell them for the cost of the shirts plus an extra fee towards a donation to both these charities, where you're going to help these charities that are in need, and you get to wear some severe sports show swag, and our colors and our logo is going to, and our slogan is going to be released at that time of merchandise as well. And Jamie, on March the 15th is our projected model picture debut at Boston Pizza as well. So if you want to come by and see me, Jamie, Dustin, Dane, and the whole Game Show sports crew looking all fine and dandy, looking all professional with our model photos and getting those model photos done, you can come on by and maybe take a picture for yourself to have. Maybe we'll sign it. Just a little joke aside for you guys out there to enjoy, to write into your calendars, because we have a packed show this year. A lot going on this year and a lot of shows, and hopefully you all been able to understand what I've said in the past 10 minutes, giving you the agenda and giving you the lowdown on the future shows before we get back to normal scheduling on March the 12th. Special thanks to Scott Nason, our board operator tonight, the notorious Scott Nason, to the beautiful Alicia White, to you, the listeners, and to Jamie Antonello, my usual contributor. Thanks for coming on by, my friend. I know next week we're going to have a show here. We're going to try to tie you into the Monday show. We'll be back here till March 5th. You keep your stick on the ice, as I would say.
Keep my cleats on the ground. I'll go with that one.
I like that. And for yours truly, David McCaig, on behalf of the Game Sports Show, got to thank the sponsor here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar for the second year in a row. Special thanks to additional sponsors, the Wicked Sister, Pingator Cleaners in Sioux, Michigan, Boston Pizza, Discover the Canvas, North Shore Sportsman Auto, The Salon, and the Sioux PB Pro Shop for being sponsors on Sault Ste. Marie side. For all of you out there, once again, for listening, make sure you subscribe at thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Follow us on YouTube for Scott Nason's YouTube channel. Check out our website, www.thegamesportshow.com, or get a hold of me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, David McCaig Jr. or David J.R. McCaig, for conversations as well. And keep it locked here on the Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show, and to get all the sports updates that you know you love to hear. To all out there, good night, and thanks for listening, as always.